Hello guys, and welcome back for another video, another review video. This is like review weekend. I don't like doing, two, basically identical type videos back to back, but I don't have much opportunity when I have all my equipment, all my trucks in the yard at the same time. So this is a video you guys have been asking for. Of all the vehicles, I get asked about the 550 the most. Hey man, where's the 550? What's going on with the 550? How's it doing? How's it working out? All that sort of stuff. I think, people would ask about the 2020 a lot if they didn't see it basically every day, because that's like my daily driver. But this thing is on the road all the time. So my peak season is from, like late April, early May to November, December, until we can't work anymore. And, the last couple of years I swapped out with my operator, so I'd see the truck every couple weeks anyway. I'd see it for a few days and then he'd come take over and it'd be gone. During the winter it's here, quite often, but this year I have two guys swapping back and forth and I'm running the 4-ton. So I hardly ever see this truck. Now, this truck does not have an easy life. It tows that 8-ton every day, 30,000 pounds. And we go into some pretty rough, pretty crazy areas. Remote cell tower sites on top of mountains, top of hills. This thing's beaten in around those roads. It's not just on the highway. So it's not just cruising down, the 101, the Trans-Canada Highway, whatever. It's going into some pretty crappy areas. And I gotta say, guys, I am so happy with how this truck has worked out. The story on this truck, I originally had a tandem, International 9100 series tandem, and a triaxle float that I used to haul my 8-ton around. So the first year, that's what I used. And it just wasn't convenient because I was always having to have, a second truck travel around with that guy, because checking into hotel rooms, going to restaurants, grocery stores, and that sort of thing, driving a tandem dump truck is just not ideal. So I said, how can I do this better? How can I do this better? So I looked into getting the gooseneck, and then I looked into getting a truck. And originally I ordered a 2018 brand new Ford F450 with the 430 gears. I spec'd it out exactly how I wanted it. It's like 76,000 bucks. And that's what I was gonna use. And then I got thinking and I started crunching some more numbers, and I looked and I was worried about the payload a bit. And my GVWR on that truck was 14,000 pounds. And I like the idea of, having a slip tank on this, having toolboxes mounted on this, because when you're in the middle of nowhere, you can't just go down to the hardware store and pick up a wrench or pick up material or whatever. You got to have a lot of stuff with you. So then I started looking at the 550s, cab chassis with a flat deck, with a flatbed. Couldn't find one anywhere. Found one in Manitoba, and this had 2,000 kilometers on it when I picked it up. And I drove all the way out to Manitoba. I flew out to Manitoba, and me and my father drove this back, and it was actually quite comfortable. I mean, they are stiff. These things are very stiff. The spring pack is made for payload. It already had the CM flat deck on it. It was already geared up with the gooseneck. Everything was ready to go. I put two toolboxes on back, I put a fuel tank on back, and that's it. Ran it for the first season, 2 seasons. All I've done to the truck for performance is it does have the Derringer and the iDash in there, and it does have the SMB air intake system in there, which both helped, because these trucks are D-rated. That's the only downfall when you go to a 550, is you do not get the full output. So at that time, 2017, the 450 would have been 425 horsepower, 925 torque. These are down to like 340, 350 horsepower and like 800, 830 torque. Again, the Derringer will add 60 horsepower, 120 torque. The air intake, maybe 510 horsepower, who knows. But I can tell you one thing, the air intake did definitely help out with the mileage. The mileage got a lot better. So this has the 488 gears, and this truck here is 19.5 GVWR. So I have no worries at all about being over my payload, being over my GVWR, none of that. 5,500 pounds more on this truck than what was on what would have been on the 450. So let's take a look at it. I actually shined it up. I actually put my hands with a mitt on this truck for the first time just to make this video. Okay, so before we get into this too much, like I said, I never have an opportunity where I have all my trucks in the yard. So here we got the 550, we've got the 2020 350 and the 2019 350, and then we got my FJ. And the 4Runner is up there, but this is what we care about. That and this, that and this. So let's take a look at the truck. Now, I do have it shined up pretty nice. It is a nice looking truck. I have to say, when I'm hooked up to this trailer, now the machine's getting all scratched up and faded and stuff, but when I hook up to the trailer and I'm hauling this and I see this on the road, if I see my guys on the road, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's a nice looking rig. That's a nice looking tow rig. So anyway, let's dive into this thing. So 2017 F550 XLT. It has the power driver seat, so it's just power forward, power back and forth, power up and down. No power lumbar. It does not have navigation. It does not have the center console. So if I was to order one of these trucks, I would definitely get the full center console. I'd get the bigger screen, and I'm so desperately trying to find a platinum seat to put in this thing. If this had a platinum seat, I would love this truck. I really like this truck. I would love this truck then. That's the only downfall I mentioned in my last video. I find the XLT seats quite uncomfortable, especially now compared to, you know, my platinum seats. They're so comfortable. So let's get into it. So what have I done to this truck? Well, I told you already performance-wise. Other than that, I've changed the tires and I put the airbags on. So I got the Firestone, can't remember what they are now, but they're the heavy duty ones. Firestone airbags and the Firestone compressor, which I mounted on the inside of my truck, as I do with all of them. So the compressor itself is right there, and then the module's over here. So I never need to worry about my module burning out, because here in Nova Scotia, I've gone through quite a few of those, not the Firestones, but the airlift wireless ones. So I mount them inside. Other than that, so what I've done, maintenance wise, of course, fuel filter changes, you got to stay up on top of those. Oil, change my oil. I have changed the transmission fluid last year, and air filter. So of course now it does have the SNB air filter intake system, which I actually just noticed how dirty this is. So I ordered, I was gonna blow it out and clean it because it's one of the dry ones, but I just ordered a new oiled one and the oiled and the cleaning kit. So that's coming. I ordered that on Amazon. That's coming now. So these are Pacific dually hubcaps. They actually look really good. Obviously this does not have the Alcoa whatever wheels, but these hubcaps do the job. It sets it off. I'm not a huge fan of chrome, but I think every tow rig should have some chrome on it. Like if it's a designated tow rig, it's got to have some chrome. The only thing that I would like to change to this truck is I'd like to add either a larger tank or a second tank. This only has one fuel tank, but I have my slip tank on back, which I have a hose long enough that I can run back here and fill it up. So I got my slip tank, I've got my toolboxes, 1, 2, and another one underneath over there. So has it been to the dealer? Been to the dealer, but it was just there to get an inspection done, because this is classified as a heavy, duty vehicle. It has to get inspected every year. And when they were doing the inspection, they noticed that the upper oil pan was leaking. It's a known thing for these POWERSTROKEs. Other than that, the batteries, I changed the batteries out because they started to leak a bit. That's another known thing for this generation of truck. And the door handles lock up in the wintertime. You can't get in. Another thing known about these Super Duties. Other than that, absolutely nothing. No front end parts, no rear end parts, no engine parts, no transmission parts. Still the original brakes guys. Original brakes on this thing. 56,000 miles, towing 30,000 pounds. Original brakes. How can you go wrong? Like I am honestly amazed at how well this truck has been doing handling this day in and day out, day in, day out. Honestly, it really does impress me. It really does impress me. So, what will I change on this truck? Well, Mr. Dan from SPE, I think me and him are gonna hook up and we're gonna work on getting some more power into this thing. I would love to get this engine and transmission to its full potential. What does that involve? Well, you need some tuning, you need a new turbo, and you need a new high pressure fuel system. Well, that really is not that bad to gain some more power to this thing. But I'm gonna jump in the truck now and we're gonna go for a drive. And I'm gonna show you, you know, it still gets up to speed with no issues. It actually tracks down the road really good. I honestly feel better in this truck towing this weight than I do in my 350 when I'm hauling my 4-ton. The dualies, guys, the dualies make such a huge difference. And then just how strong and sturdy this truck is. I absolutely love towing with this truck. But okay, so if you can see the mileage there, 90,785 kilometers, so you know, 56,000 miles. We've got the Derringer here, so we have it in level 5. It should be in level 5. We're in level 6. Okay, so now we're in level 5. I just like running it in level 5. Tow haul, of course, and automatic engine brake. Automatic engine brake makes a big difference. Alright, so we're just about to merge onto the highway here. We do have a bit of advantage here. We have a slight grade downhill to help us get up to speed, but these guys in front of me get going. Alright, so I'm to the floor right now. Okay, so I have the cruise set at 106 kilometers an hour, so like 67, 68 miles per hour. And we're just driving down the road here as, you know, as laid back as possibly can be. It feels awesome. It feels wicked. I love towing with this truck. Like, I absolutely love it. You know, it's not super uncomfortable. I give these seats a hard time. It's not that bad, but you know, now that I've had my Platinum, honestly, I'm completely spoiled. I just am. Those seats are so comfortable. But I mean, there's nothing really to show here. I've showed you guys this a million times. This thing just goes about its thing. Obviously, on hills, it does slow down. There's no doubt about that. So that's why I want to give it some more help. I want to give it some more help, but I'm so happy with this truck. I'm so happy with this truck. It's worked out so well. Fingers crossed that it keeps treating me exactly how it's been treating me so far. So, you know, when I first bought this truck, I had a bunch of people, you know, we'll call them super truckers, saying the truck wouldn't hold up. It's too hard to work for the truck, and it's unsafe to be towing, you know, that kind of weight with that truck. But I mean, okay, we just got off the highway. I'm barely touching the brake, and the transmission is gearing down, slowing me down. That combination with the engine brake, even though we all know that the engine brakes in these PowerStrokes aren't all that to brag about compared to the Cummins. But you know, I'm coming up to this light here. I got no worries about getting stopped. Like, I'm not even on the brake right now. Now I'm on the brake, and I'm slowing down extremely quickly. Okay guys, so just sort of touching on something I was getting into there while I was driving. So, you know, a lot of people told me the truck couldn't handle it, the truck's unsafe. you know, towing this kind of weight day in, day out, that sort of thing. Well, the truck's doing perfectly fine, and myself and 3 other people have used this truck a lot towing this load, and not one of them have ever said anything to me about not feeling safe. It feels fantastic going down the road. Coming to a stop, it feels great. There's been no issues, no close calls, no nothing the whole time we've had the truck. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Very uneventful, which is what you want as a business owner. Eventful is usually not good. This thing has been fantastic. If I can get Dan on the job, getting the new turbo, some tuning, and the new fuel system, maybe some other things, throw another 100 horsepower at this truck, couple hundred torque, this thing will be an absolute monster. It's already a beast. It would be an absolute monster then, and I'm pretty excited to make that happen. Definitely will not be happening until the season closes down. So this winter, when I've got some downtime, this thing's gonna get some goodies, and it's gonna be a whole another animal next year. But for now, that is it for the guys that have been wondering. It's great, you know, I make these videos to help out people, because when I bought this setup, there was nobody on YouTube whatsoever that was using this truck for this type of setup. I didn't know how it was going to do myself. So if you're in a situation like me where you just need to haul equipment around, you don't really have a use for a tandem, this will do it for you. An F550, the Ram 5500, even the the 450, they'll do it. They absolutely will do it. They're built so strong now, like they are. Only if that emission stuff wasn't around, we'd have absolutely nothing to worry about with these trucks. But anyway, for now that's it. So until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye.